Hi everybody, so today I wanted to do a video giving you guys a few tips and tricks and telling you guys about a few products that I use in my everyday routine to maintain healthy hair. Now if you don't know, I have a side cut and I recently decided that I wanted to grow it out, really just because it's becoming a lot of hassle. I feel like it doesn't look as clean as I want it to, so I've decided that I wanted to grow it out, and the growing out process is going to be a really tedious thing, and I know that, and I want to make sure that I keep my hair as healthy as I can, so that it grows out nicely, it grows out fast, and I don't have any like damage to my hair as it starts to grow, because growing your hair out, especially from being like practically bald on my head to growing it out to the length of hair that I'm used to, is going to take a while, and there's a lot of like room for error and room to get damaged. So I want to show you guys kind of my routine and what I do to kind of keep my hair as healthy as possible. Now, the number one tip that I can say for just about everybody to do is to get regular haircuts. Now, for me, I'm not somebody who does that often. I'm really bad about getting haircuts. I tend to cut my hair about once or twice a year, which is really not good if you're planning on trying to maintain healthy long hair. So maintaining your hair is actually really good if you get cuts, like I would say around every 2 to maybe 3 months, depending on your hair type and texture. You may need to go more often or less often depending on, you know, what type of hair you have and how like you take care of it and other things you do in your routine. So for me, I'm trying to go around every 2 to 2.5 months to get my hair trimmed, so that hopefully as my hair starts to grow out, it'll grow out healthier and it'll grow out longer. So that's one tip that I have. And I do have a card of notes here just because I want to make sure I mention everything. Other things that I can say to use as far as the growing out process to keep damage away is to use a wide tooth comb. Now I have this one, it's from Conair. I actually use this in the shower. Because when I shower, I have a pump conditioner. So I have a conditioner that has a pump to it. It's by Tresemme. I use about 5 pumps of conditioner, and I let that sit in my hair for probably about 10 minutes. And when I'm ready to rinse it out, I actually take the wide tooth comb and I brush my hair in the shower instead of when I get out of the shower. Now the reason I do that is because I have so much conditioner in my hair, it doesn't tangle in my comb as easily, and it prevents breakage and ripping out hair from brushing it. So if you are somebody who notices that when you brush your hair, you have a lot of hair shedding out, now a little bit of shedding is normal, but if you notice that you have an excessive amount, definitely try a wide tooth comb, and try doing it when you have your hair full of conditioner, because that'll help it not get tangled and not get stuck in the brush. So that's one thing that I would say is really good to try out. I notice a really big difference in how tangled my hair gets. Like once I'm out of the shower, it really doesn't get tangled at all if I do this method. So I really do recommend trying that. And then another thing is when you sleep, to use a bonnet. Now I know this is not the sexiest thing and people may not want to do this just because it looks kind of funny at first, but it definitely protects your hair. Now I don't think you need any type of hair type to try and use this. You don't need to have curly hair, straight hair, any type of like ethnicity of hair. You definitely can benefit from using a bonnet no matter what. If you don't want to use a bonnet, you can use satin or silk pillowcases. These just kind of prevent your hair from catching and ripping out throughout the night when you sleep on your pillowcase. Cotton is definitely not something you want to be using. It dries out your hair. It causes breakage and damage. So definitely using something that is silk or satin will work. I got this one from Walmart. It actually was only, I think, like $2 or $3, so it's super inexpensive. It works really well, and I've noticed that especially for my curly hair, it's not as dry when I use this. So I really do recommend trying this out. I can't speak on breakage just because I haven't been using it long enough to really notice if my baby hairs are growing out and if the areas where I have a lot of breakage are growing out a lot nicer than they would normally. So I will update you guys on that. But as far as just keeping it more moisturized, especially if you have curly hair, it definitely does that, and it prevents your hair from being knotted when you sleep. So when I wake up, normally my hair is a huge tangled mess. This actually prevents that from happening. So I really do recommend this, especially if you're somebody who notices your hair gets tangled really easily. This helps that out a lot. Now, the next thing that I have is conditioning. Now, conditioner is the biggest issue that people tend to kind of not follow. You need to use a lot of conditioner if you're somebody who has dry hair, especially dry hair that's prone to breakage. If you have curly hair, you're going to notice that you have drier texture. So conditioning your hair both in and out of the shower is what's going to really help you out. Now, products that I have that really help with conditioning my hair are actually really inexpensive, and they've been working really nice. Now, these products are not only conditioners, but they help maintain curls. So this is going to be more beneficial for those of you who want a leave-in conditioner after your shower that is going to help keep your curls looking nice and like tight and not as frizzy. I don't have a recommendation for straight hair. The only one that I know that would probably work for you that I've tried is any type of argan oil or like oil-based conditioner will really help your hair. And I noticed that it doesn't really help my curls, but it does help moisture. So maybe that would be the best bet for you if you have straight hair. If you're like me and you have curly hair, two products that I really do like are by African Pride. These you can find at Walmart. They are only like $2 or $3. So they're super inexpensive. They smell amazing and they work really well. So one that I like if I want like a really deep conditioned kind of hair feel is the Olive Miracle Leave-In Conditioner Anti-Breakage Formula. This is a daily treatment and it's a hair strengthener. So what this really does for me is it helps kind of define my curls slightly and adds more moisture to them so they're not as frizzy, and then it keeps your hair moisturized throughout the day. So the way that I apply this is I take off my bonnet in the morning and then I kind of finger comb my hair in the morning so that it takes out any little bits of tangles that may be there, and then I go ahead and I take a little bit of this, maybe about I'd say like a quarter size of this, and I put it in my hand, rub it between my fingers, and just gently run it through my hair. Now the way that I do this for more volume is I flip my hair to the opposite side than I want to wear it for the day. So since I'm growing out my side cut, I've been wearing my hair parted to this side recently so that it covers it as it's growing, but since I want my hair to fall this way, I actually flip my hair the opposite direction when I'm applying this product. That adds a little bit more volume, so when I flip it back over, you can see all the curls and all the volume really sits nicely on this side. So that's a recommendation for how to use this. Now, the other product is the Shea Miracle Moisture Intense Bouncy Curls Pudding. Now this one is going to really define your curls. It's not going to add necessarily as much moisture as this one, but it definitely still does moisturize your hair, and it definitely has more of a curl activator formula. So if you're somebody who your curls really don't stay defined throughout the day, this is going to be the one that you want to try out. This one smells like mangoes. It's super amazing. It definitely has more of a thinner texture than I expected. Like, it looks thick when you first see it, but when you apply it in your hands, it almost feels, I don't want to say like an oil, but just a very light cream, kind of like a lotion. So none of these two products are gonna really weigh down your hair. That's my biggest problem with trying to find products that moisturize my hair, is that they tend to weigh them down because they're so heavy and thick, but these really don't do that. So they're really good if you're somebody who has a problem like me, where a lot of products make my hair feel really like slimy and thick, and I get a lot of buildup in my hair with products. So these don't do that, and I really recommend them because they're so inexpensive. So you can pick up one or both of them if you'd like, and then they work really well, and they've been helping my hair and helping me wear my hair naturally, so I don't have to use added heat or added products to really get my hair to look the way I want it to and look presentable. So I recommend these, especially if you have curly hair. Now, the next thing I want to mention is sleeping with your hair wet and protecting your hair from the elements. So protecting your hair from the elements is something that not a lot of people think of. During the winter months, when there's a lot of cold and the air is drier, you're going to notice that your hair is a lot drier in texture, and it's not going to feel as nice as it does maybe throughout the spring or summer when there's more humidity in the air. So what I tend to do is I try to keep my hair away from the elements as much as possible. So I try to use like hats or hoods that will protect my hair while I'm outside. Now again, sometimes hats can cause breakage, so try to find something that sits loosely around your head that will protect your hair while not causing excess breakage. So that's something that I recommend that maybe you may not think of or may not think it's necessarily as important, but it definitely does help, and it keeps your hair more moisturized if you do that. Now, sleeping with your hair wet is another thing that causes breakage, and it's something that I definitely don't follow. I tend to sleep with my hair wet. I just like to have my hair slightly damp in the morning because I feel like it helps my curls look nicer, and when I style it, it's just easier for me to do it that way. But definitely I recommend to try to keep your hair as dry as possible before you go to sleep, because that causes excess breakage. Your hair is weakest when it's wet, so sleeping with it wet is really not the best thing to do. I noticed that it does help that I use the bonnet even though my hair is wet. So if you are somebody who tends to go to sleep right after you shower, try using the bonnet at least, because that'll help give a little bit of protection. But if you can, try letting your hair air dry. It will really help maintain like less breakage and really help your hair from not getting as like destroyed and ruined throughout the night as you're sleeping. And so that is one tip that I recommend, but necessarily I don't follow. Now, another thing is to use a heat protectant. So this is something that I really only ever use once, max twice a week. I try to keep my hair away from heat products as much as I can, just because for me, and the texture of hair I have and the type of hair I have, added heat products and using heat tools on my hair really damages it quickly. Like if I'm using my heat products throughout the week, if I notice I do that like 2 or 3 weeks, I'll start to get little split ends and breakage, and it happens really fast for me. So I try to keep my hair, like heat tools, to being used mainly only once or twice a week at most. There are weeks that I don't go and use any heat products at all, and that is the best way to really maintain healthy hair, is to try to keep heat styling to a minimum. But when you do need to heat style, or you want to kind of spruce up your hair and do a different hairstyle that requires you to use heat, using a heat protectant is really beneficial, and it really is something that's going to change how your hair looks and feels when you're using those products. So the one that I've recently tried out is the Olive Oil by Oars Heat Serum Protectant. So this is it looks kind of like an oil in the tube, but it's not really an oil. It feels like a serum. If you've ever tried any type of hair serum, it's thicker than an oil, but it's not necessarily like a cream product. I really like this because one, it smells delicious. I absolutely love the way that it smells, but it makes my hair feel so silky soft when I straighten it. So this I tend to use when I'm straightening my hair. I believe it has something in it that does help straighten your hair. I'm not positive, but if you use this when you straighten or curl your hair with any type of curling iron, this will really help maintain your hair texture and not let it get dried out when you use heat products. So I really like this. This is around $7. You can again find this at Walmart. I really like inexpensive hair products because they're products that I use on a daily basis, but they are something that I'll go through faster. So using a more inexpensive one that works is really up my alley. So these are all really inexpensive products that I do recommend you try out. This one in particular is one of the best hair heat protectant serums that I've ever tried, and it doesn't feel like thick and heavy in your hair. And I noticed that I did use this, and normally if I straighten my hair one day and I plan to do second day hair and leave my hair straight, I notice that I have a lot of kinks in my hair from sleeping on it, but this product for some reason keeps my hair straight. So the next day when I go to do my hairstyle, I don't have to re-straighten my hair because this actually kept it straight. Even though I slept on it, even though it was like bunched up in my bonnet, it really just kept it nice and silky, and it makes your hair feel super moisturized. So I really recommend using this, even if you were just using this to blow dry your hair. Like if you're somebody who prefers to blow dry your hair instead of letting it air dry, this would be something good to just apply a little bit of it, and only use a little bit because it can make your hair almost feel oily if you use too much. Now it doesn't necessarily, it's not like an oily feel, but it definitely feels more slick in your hair if you use too much. So use like a very minimal amount, really work it through your hands to get a thin layer, and then just work it through your hair. Once I put it through my hair, I do take a comb and I brush it through to make sure that it's evenly dispersed throughout all of my hair, but that is just how I apply it. And then I go ahead and use whatever heat styling product that I'm going to use next. So I think that's pretty much it for how I maintain my hair. I will keep you guys updated on how my hair growth process is going for my side cut, just because I haven't ever really had to grow out my hair from being like shaved, like bald to my head, to growing it out long. So I want to see if all of these products maintain my hair for as long as I need it to be, like for growth process. So I'll give you guys an update later on to see if this like routine that I've been doing really helps with hair growth, because this does help, and I've noticed that it's helped with maintaining like less damage on your hair and maintaining healthy hair. But I want to know if it helps any bit in growing out your hair and maintaining like long healthy hair. So this is what I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys learned some few tips, anything that will probably help you guys keep healthier hair. Healthy hair is really hard to get because your hair is so easily prone to breakage and things like that. So I wanted to give you guys my tips and how I've kind of combated that, and things that I've done to hopefully help change my hair routine and give myself healthier but also more like moisturized, nice and curly, just all around beautiful looking hair. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions on anything that I mentioned in this video, you can leave them in the comment section below. I have all of my social media in the comment section below as well, so you guys can go check those out. I will try to link off the products that I mentioned in this video so that you guys can go check them out, because they are inexpensive. So if you wanted to pick them up, I'll try to find the links for them and put them in the description so you guys can go check those. Other than that, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye everybody!